funeral, Pap. He actually died in your arms.
That happening to my right hand, man.
Got it back in blood, y'all just don't know that's how it supposed to be.
My beef is really mainly in the music industry. You coulda did this, he coulda did this, your little partner coulda did this. This the only thing about this life shit, my nigga. Ain't no rules. I might feel like I ain't shooting at that man hoe just cause I see her right here. You might feel like that. Bet, bro, you gotta live by no rules. Niggas commit a ass of crimes and wait till they go to jail to start praying. I ain't got no beef with nobody.
They said that you were the intended target in that situation.
All that shit you heard was cap. Nobody know what the fuck really going on, bro.
When you found out that King Von died, how'd you feel?
At that moment, I still didn't know exactly who he was. In my mind, I just know like, shit, I was just protecting my little brother.
When you did finally find out that it was King Von who died, how'd you feel?
I was like, damn, if Brian did that stupid shit last night, his ass still would have been alive.
Facts, man. What's your mental like?
I mean, man, life like an ocean. I look at life like being in the ocean, all us, like you, me, and the whole world. I feel like we in the ocean without a life jacket. And at the same time, everybody trying to do what? Keep their head above water. You dig what I'm saying? Whatever it take for me not to drown, long as it's nothing flaw against my religion, my will, or the laws I got laid down, I'm gonna keep my head above water.
A prison is supposed to be the one place where chaos is controlled, where every movement is watched, and where nobody can just move how they want. But one leaked audio clip shattered that idea completely. One shout across a unit, one name tied to years of bloodshed, and suddenly everything changed. What people are calling a simple prison fight might actually be one of the most dangerous moments in this entire long-running street war. The clip started spreading quietly at first, just another voice note floating around online. But once people actually listened to it, once they heard the details, the tone, the confidence of the person speaking, it exploded. Millions of views, endless reposts, comment sections filled with shock, disbelief, and arguments. Because this wasn't just gossip. This sounded like someone who was really there, giving a play-by-play of something that almost turned into a full-blown disaster behind bars. According to the insider in the audio, Quando Rondo was already locked up, doing what most high-profile inmates try to do at first, which is keep their head down and survive the time. But when you carry years of unresolved beef, your reputation doesn't stop at the gate. It follows you into every hallway, every cell block, every lockdown unit. And all it takes is one person trying to prove something. The insider claims there was a guy from Mississippi in the same facility, someone allegedly connected to the other side of the beef. Whether he was chasing clout, riding for his people, or just trying to test limits, nobody knows for sure. What we do know is what he allegedly yelled, a disrespect tied directly to a name that has been the center of this war for years. Once that shout went out, there was no taking it back. According to the clip, Quando heard it clearly, no confusion, no misunderstanding, and instead of ignoring it, instead of brushing it off like some people expected, he made a move that shocked everyone listening. He allegedly went straight to the guards and asked which cell the guy was in. That detail alone made people pause. Because that's not panic, that's intention. Once he got the cell number, the story says he didn't hesitate. He walked straight over. No running, no hiding, no waiting for backup. Just direct confrontation in one of the most tense environments imaginable. When they came face to face, the insider claims Quando threw a clean two-piece and dropped him. Quick, decisive, no drawn-out chaos. Just enough to send a message. That's when things almost went completely off the rails. Another inmate allegedly jumped in verbally, accusing people of riding hard for Quando, which immediately raised the temperature in the unit. And this is where the situation became way bigger than two people. According to the same source, inmates from Louisiana and Georgia began backing Quando. That detail matters more than most people realize. In prison, regional alliances are serious. When groups start lining up, it doesn't take much for a small situation to turn into a full-scale incident. The insider claims guards rushed in before things fully exploded. Lockdowns, movement stopped. The unit went tense. And just like that, something that could have turned into a riot was barely contained. Now, on the surface, some people brush this off as another exaggerated jailhouse story. But the reason this hits so hard is because of everything behind it. This didn't come out of nowhere. This moment has roots that go back years. To understand why this clip feels so heavy, you have to rewind to November 2020 in Atlanta. That night outside a hookah lounge changed everything. When Quando Rondo's crew and King Von's crew crossed paths, it wasn't supposed to end the way it did. Words were exchanged. Tension escalated fast. And within moments, shots rang out. When the dust settled, King Von was gone. That moment didn't just end a life, it created a chain reaction that still hasn't stopped. Quando's associate was identified as the shooter, and claims of self-defense followed. But in the streets and on the internet, logic rarely matters more than emotion. Sides were chosen immediately. Overnight, Quando went from a rising artist to one of the most hated names online. Threats flooded his pages. Fans went after his family. Every move he made was watched, criticized, and twisted. The pressure didn't ease up with time, it intensified. Music became a battlefield. Subliminals started flying. Certain lyrics hit harder than others because people knew exactly who they were aimed at. Quando responded with tracks that made it clear he wasn't backing down, defending his position, and refusing to apologize for surviving. That response only fueled the fire. Then the streets started speaking. Rumors of retaliation spread constantly. Every shooting involving someone close to Quando was immediately linked back to the beef, whether confirmed or not. When people in his circle lost their lives, the internet connected dots instantly. When his car was hit, the same thing happened. The narrative became unstoppable. By 2022, the situation had gone far beyond rap. Law enforcement started paying closer attention. When violence, affiliations, and public statements overlap for long enough, it draws eyes nobody wants watching. The feds don't ignore patterns. Fast forward to Quando's arrest. Serious charges, conspiracy talk, accusations of organized activity. The kind of case where prosecutors start digging through lyrics, posts, videos, and associations to build a bigger picture. Suddenly, Quando wasn't just fighting public perception, he was fighting time. And here's what a lot of people don't understand. Being locked up doesn't make you safer when you're tied to a high-profile beef. In many ways, it makes you more vulnerable. You don't control who's in the building, you don't choose who gets transferred in. And if someone wants to make a name for themselves, testing a known figure is one way to do it. That's why this alleged prison confrontation matters so much. It wasn't just about pride, it was about survival inside a system where reputation can protect you or put a target on your back. Letting disrespect slide in that environment can invite more problems. Responding too hard can create even bigger ones. There's no perfect move. When the leaked audio hit the internet, reactions were instant and divided. Some people celebrated it, saying it proved Quando wasn't weak, that he'd stand on business anywhere. They shared old interviews, old clips, pointing to moments where he talked about never folding under pressure. Others called it cap. They said the story sounded too clean, too convenient. They accused the insider of clout chasing, of exaggerating details to go viral. Some even claimed the audio was staged or edited. And then there were the conspiracy theories. People started saying the clip was planted to boost Quando's image while he's locked up. Others said correctional staff were involved. Some went as far as claiming the audio was AI generated. In today's internet, nothing is off the table once a story gets big enough. But here's what can be confirmed. The audio itself is real. Multiple people verified it came from someone inside. The timeline matches Quando's custody status. And the beef behind it is undeniable. Whether every detail played out exactly as described, nobody outside those walls can say with 100% certainty. But the foundation of the story lines up too closely with reality to dismiss completely. This situation also exposes something uncomfortable about modern hip-hop culture. Beef doesn't stay on records anymore. It doesn't fade when the cameras turn off. It follows people into courtrooms, into prison units, into every space they occupy. Once it reaches a certain level, there is no off switch. For Quando, this clip is another reminder that the past isn't done with him. Even while fighting serious charges, even while locked away, the conflict found him again. And for the other side, it reinforces the idea that this war isn't over, that no environment is neutral. Zooming out, this story is bigger than one artist or one incident. It's about cycles that never seem to end. Young men pulled into conflicts they didn't start but can't escape. Fans cheering moments that could have ended in real tragedy. Internet engagement rewarding the most extreme outcomes. King Von's death was a loss for the culture, period. And years later, we're still seeing the ripple effects. Careers stalled, lives lost, futures hanging in the balance. All because one night spiraled out of control and nobody ever truly stepped away. At the same time, street codes don't disappear just because someone is famous. In that world, respect is currency. Letting disrespect go unanswered can invite more tests. That doesn't make it right, but it explains the mindset. So, when the insider claims someone yelled that name across the unit, from that perspective, a response was almost guaranteed. The location just made it more dangerous. Now the question everyone's asking is simple but heavy. What happens next? Does this stay a story people debate online? Or does it add fuel to something that's already burned too long? Does the system step in harder? Do outside voices finally force some kind of pause? Or does history repeat itself like it has so many times before? For now, Quando Rondo remains locked up, fighting his case and watching his back at the same time. The beef remains unresolved. The internet keeps dissecting every detail, and the clip that started all this continues to circulate, reminding everyone how thin the line really is. This isn't a victory story. It's a warning. A look at how far things can go when pride, pain, and reputation collide in places where there's no room for mistakes. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe the insider's story? Do you think this ever truly ends? Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you want real breakdowns like this without the fluff. Because this story isn't finished, and the consequences are very real.